Welcome to episode 44 of the official podcast for Guardian 1, a Destiny group dedicated to the prosperity of Guardians everywhere. We broadcast live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I am joined by River.
Siege is leaving on a jet plane.
Crimson Warlock.
It's almost E3 time.
Jez.
Good morning.
Agrios.
Greetings, Guardians.
And returning champion, Old Man.
Greetings, fellow Guardians.
We are going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first I would like to take a moment to recognize everyone who is currently flying the Guardian 1 flag. These people have chosen to take the name Guardian 1 and hold it up for all to see. On the Xbox side of the clan, we have SDF River, Soda Snappy, Hazy Hypes, Redeemer 58030, Rob W, Lieutenant Ben Valeris, Pennywise 711, Sace, Revict, Pig Jockey, The Harbinger, Mr. Stay Puft, and Dale Janssens. Thank you, Xbox people. On the PlayStation side, we have Crimson Warlock, Agrios and Dendros, Hedge, Yuri Boy 469, Frost 472, Artistic 33, Mighty Soul, N7 Strider, Even Treater, Z Surface, Slayer Kind, Fred Rock, Rewind Play Repeat, Zek Morn, Amazing Plankton, Ninja with IBS, Trogdor 80, Orin Relt, Guru Fu, The Harbinger, Sharks 3D Man, Brigantine, Ajaz, Destiny K-Dub, and Broken Fish. And I just can't thank you all enough. I just can't thank you all enough for this because it really means a lot for you to want to help push this idea, and I want so much more from this clan. Like, I want to do so much more with this clan, and it's really only a matter of time before those things start happening. Like, especially recently, I've not had a huge amount of time to play Destiny, and last week, before the show started, like an hour before the show started, I broke the crap out of my phone. I mean, it still works, and I was still able to retain the data from it, but every time I touch it, it emits shards of glass, and so I just haven't really checked it. Like, I'll go over there and I'll try and reply to people who are talking directly to me, but other than that, I haven't been more disconnected from the Destiny community since the alpha. Since the alpha, when half of us went one direction to play Destiny, and the other half were just holding our heads in our hands, thinking, "What are we doing with our lives?" Like, I know some of us thought, "Man, we should just buy a PlayStation." And sadly, I got a PlayStation like 4 days after the alpha ended, and it was really horrible. But thank you to everyone who is right now wearing the Guardian 1 name, because I really appreciate it. And we're going to do big things, and it's. We're not even a year into this out of 10. You know, Bungie's talked about 10. So with that, housekeeping.
All right. Everybody, thank you for listening in on the podcast, however it is that you choose to listen. Be sure to follow Guardian 1 on Twitter at G1net. That's G1NET. And just a reminder that we only use the number 1 whenever we refer to Guardian 1 in its shortened form. So again, that's G1NET. In addition, be sure to check out the Guardian 1 website. Oh, my crap is jacking up here. Here we go. The Guardian 1 website at guardian1.net. You can also send us feedback to our email, feedback@guardian1.net. You can also have a Bungie.net forums group that's currently at 148 members, and if you want to join that, go ahead and select the buttons that say set as PlayStation Clan or set as Xbox Clan after you join the group. Big thank you to all those currently in the Twitch chat. As Remy said at the top of the podcast, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian1 Network. We broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And if you can't catch the show live, you can always go to the Guardian 1 YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian1 Network. Guardian One is a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out the Guardian Radio Network website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. So you'll find all the different podcasts that's part of the network, including the flagship podcast Guardian Radio. They broadcast every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. You can also follow their Twitter account at Guardians of D and their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Guardian Radio. Other podcasts include Warlock School, TTL Party Chat, Aim Assist Gaming, Robust Radio, and if you're into the Grimoire cards, then you should really check out the audio versions put out by Coast and Echoes, as well as the fan fiction that they made earlier in the year. Hey, did my mic go off? Because I just heard a little sound thing.
Nope, sounded good.
Okay, everything's great. Also, one last thing, little thing from the Legend Blue. What does Skolas eat for breakfast? Kellogg's.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah. I had to facepalm myself, but I had to put myself on mute for that.
I was in the middle of muting mine when I figured it out, so I just barely beat you to it. I gotta discuss this amongst myself real quick. What is he talking about? All right, so I don't even know what's going on in the community. Like I was saying, I haven't been I did get wind that there was some kind of spoilers. Like, is there confirmed leaks, or is this I don't know what's out there. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. I've been thinking about this all week too. What I really want from the Solar Titan is for him to do like a diving, flaming attack, much like M. Bison from Street Fighter. Now, all I want to know is if that's what he does. No, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
How's this? Nothing's confirmed.
Okay. You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. Nothing's confirmed. Yeah. And you know what? I wanted to read it, but without my phone, I just don't ever sit down at this computer. I just don't ever sit down at this computer until it's time to broadcast, and so I don't have any idea what's going on. River, have you seen the
Wait. Spoilers, guys. Spoiler alert.
I'm just
Potential.
asking.
He's just asking if I've seen it.
I don't want to talk about spoilers on this show. I saw some people on Twitter who were pretty pissed off about spoilers, and so let's not talk about those. I'm certain that there's more than enough to talk about other than that. But have you seen them, River?
I have seen the articles rolling around, and just to let everybody, just a reminder to everybody, just take it until we hear directly from Bungie as far as confirmation, because everything else is just rumor.
Crimson Warlock, what about you? Have you looked into the rumors?
I am still a Taken King virgin, and I plan on being that until next week when it's actually revealed.
Awesome. Jez, you actually told me, you said you wished you had waited to find out what was at the end of the Prison of Elders run, and I actually did it. Like right after I said, screw it, I'm going to look into it, I realized that just by saying that out loud, I was going to make sure that was the one thing I wasn't going to do. So I just turned off my phone and it worked, and I saw what was beneath the Prison of Elders on my own. And I appreciate that because it was cool. It wasn't a big enough surprise to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't go and find that out first. It was just perfect. So what about you, Jez? Have you looked into all of this leaks?
Oh, of course.
Excellent. And what do you think about these leaks? Are they awesome, or are you just like, screw it?
Well, see, the problem with the leak is that it seems like what everyone theorized from the start.
Got it.
So that might question its validity. It might strengthen its validity. You'll have to wait until E3.
Excellent. Agrios, what about you? You actually posted some stuff that was like, well, here's some printed materials. This is not. Like, what do you think? What do you have going on? Are you watching all of this?
I'm aware of everything that's out. And here's the funny thing. I hope I'm not spoilering too much here, but the reason Crimson Warlock would kind of jutted in there saying, hey, maybe we should spoiler warning is because between what you guys said that haven't seen the spoilers yet, you pretty much covered all of the spoilers. They're very, very small in nature. We already talked about the Taken King. We already talked about what we speculate the Taken King to be. We've already talked about subclasses, extra subclasses, the missing elements in the past. we've already discussed all this stuff. So like Jez said, this could all be phony baloney because it is exactly what we've all already been talking about and speculating. I don't really feel like anything would be spoiled for you by learning what is already out there in the wild. To be honest, if you decide, Remy, you wanted to like look at it in a day or two, I really don't feel like you would think anything is spoiled, because this is all information that you're going to have before the thing's ever released anyway. They're not telling you who, all the details, just pretty much what you probably already knew ahead of time, just it's a given anyway type thing.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it would be ignorant to not notice that there is no Solar Titan, and that there's a slot for it. And I know that they said this
isn't.
was what's that? What's that? I think you broke up. What was that?
Yeah, somebody cut out or something.
I think he said there isn't in a sarcastic tone, and then was cut off by his mic.
Man, oh man, looks like he's got booted from this conversation. I think he was about to put me in my place too.
Oh, he's back, I think. Is he back?
No, it says we're gonna get the call back.
Okay.
I do have to say I did enjoy the spoilers that I did see on Reddit of the subclasses, because that Arc Warlock just looks amazing.
Right, like these are all things that are like there's a spot there missing, and there's three of each element, and each class only has 2. Hello.
And also in the latest update of the app, where it says classes, it actually says 2 of 3 that you have.
Oh, they put that back, huh?
River, you got cut off. Are you there?
No, it was a joke, so it even lost its funniness now. So don't worry about it.
Whatever, we're all laughing. It's funny.
I was just asking. There's no Solar Titan.
That's funny. That is funny. I'm getting some crazy.
Oh, yeah.
River, you're echoey.
Great.
Okay, old man. What about you? Do you even keep up on any of this? Or
I don't even know. I want the Solar Titan. It sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds real good. I have gotten each of my 3 different characters up to the level of 32.
Excellent.
and in that, I am happy with myself. I'm ready to go. We have to get together to play before I get the. Like I was telling you, I keep going to that one level with all the levels, with all the...
Oh, the one with the vaulted glass?
Yeah, the one that's from that one, or whatever it was. Yeah, and I just can't... I don't know. I got a mental block on trying to get through it. And I'll probably be perfect once I get through it, but I just can't get through it, even on the lowest level.
Okay, so what he's talking about is making it down those steps down to that situation, right? You're not talking about fighting those guys down there. You're talking about just making it down that wall, right?
No. I'm talking about fighting the guys when I get down there.
Oh, okay.
I have no problem. I pick most of them off with my sniper rifle, and then when I start, it just seems like I just need to be more careful. I haven't played it enough lately, so.
Yeah, I've had a huge amount of real life stuff going on that's prevented me from playing, very much at all, and it sucked. It sucks. Not playing Destiny sucks. But yeah, I am right where you are. Like, I've got all of my characters to 32. I could have a level 34 hunter, but I don't want to use that ethereal material until I know that that's what I'm going to use it for. And right now I've got like 438 in strength. I don't need 430 in strength, and the boots that I would be putting up have like 130 strength on them.
Well, once you got like a 365 weapon and a 32 level character, that's pretty much what passes for normal for the rest of the year until the next upgrade. Or upload.
Yeah, so
download.
As long as you're not
Sideload.
like I would consider that whatever the nightfall is at to be the median, like that's where you need to be to do the majority of the activities in Destiny. And so the Prison of Elders gives you an opportunity to boost that. You can get to 34 just from doing a bunch of level 32s, right? Like if you were to just do a level 32 each week and getting those armor cores, you can get to 34, right?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's going to push you just up and into having to make a group with somebody else. So
Yeah. I really feel kind of sorry for the people that have started. You really had to come in on the ground floor of this, or you're pretty much left in the dust.
you mean as far as
Playing the game of Destiny. If you start it right now, it's like you're like looking at it like, what the hell? Especially if you got all the add-ons and stuff and all. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? And there's
You were talking about 10 years. I'm just trying to imagine 10 years. It's crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I agree. 10 years. I mean, think about that. Think about the weapons that we have now. And then there's a conversation going around about whether or not all of this content will be available when Destiny 2 is around. You know, and then at that point, what levels of these things? Because we've talked about, you know, multiple times about, you know, the steps specifically being a place for young guardians, kindergardians, and is redesigning that space a good use of time? Or if in year 7, will the steps still be there? You know, will we still be able to go there? Is that still where young guardians will come in? You know?
Uh-huh.
So, and then how far does that go? You know, like there's many weapons that we can no longer get anymore because we've moved into this period of expansion where, like, you can't get a sniper rifle that has final round anymore.
Yeah, what happens when they say, and now we're not going to do this anymore? We're out of the Destiny business. No more gravy. Basically, right?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
hoping that's like 10 years from now.
Yeah, it's got to end someday, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. You noticed how the room got really, whoa, wait a minute. What are you saying?
Right, and you know what? It's so weird because when you think about, if I was to have looked at Halo as I do Destiny, like if they said, "Oh, you know what? We're going to make this Halo game for 10 years," I think it's setting you up for a certain amount of stuff, because I looked at each iteration of Halo as its own thing. Like, I didn't consider any of the previous stuff moving forward, you know, necessarily. Yeah. Like, it didn't matter. Like, I bought Halo Reach. That's just Halo Reach. You know, it's not. I'm not thinking about these other Halos necessarily. But with Destiny, you know, they're talking about pulling this along for 10 years, and I think that I don't know, it gives me a sense of security knowing that if, you know, if all things go well, you know, I could just keep talking about this.
But I'd like to play another game before I die. I am old man, you know. and the hardest thing about Destiny is that it makes it almost impossible to play other games. It's like I don't know.
No, I know that feeling.
It's I could be running some strikes right now. I could be getting some Vanguard marks, you know.
That's true. That's what we all need to do right now. I'm just going to tell my significant other that I'm going to go do a podcast.
Right.
What do you mean need to do? What makes you think we're not?
Right. Clackety clackety clack.
Yeah, really.
All right.
There'd be a lot of cursing.
So why don't we get to what news we have? Staying away from any specific spoilers. Agrios.
All right. This week, Bungie prepares for battle. Their arsenal is ready. Their arena is E3. In tow is one large case marked "Caution, Explosive Projectile." So, what's in the box?
You know, that's a good question. I would say it was a rocket launcher.
Yellowhorn, 3D printed.
You think so?
Maybe.
Yeah,
man, that would be. I was thinking it would be something new.
My thought is that it's something so important they don't want it to get lost, and so they're marking it so it doesn't get lost. So Deej doesn't have to run a backpack all the way down from Seattle again.
Blue says Deej's jacket is in the box. And I can't help but agree with that.
Yep.
And most likely, I would say Yellowhorn.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that. I thought it was going to be some kind of, I don't know, something new. But yeah, that would make sense.
Like something that they could take and pose for photos at the Bungie booth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right.
And you'd
Especially
think it'd
since
be
we haven't seen anything like the speeder or the sparrow or the falling captain
Yep.
this year, so it's probably a prop you can hold.
that would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It'd be
That
cool
would-
if it's something that already existed. Like, I mean, everybody who went could get a picture being like, finally got the Galahorn.
That's what it's going to be. You guys are right. That's funny.
That, or my thought was, a new weapon. Like, for once, they 3D printed something before it was. Well, not for once. They 3D printed Thorn before it was ever released in the game. But, like, if they did something like that for what they're going to announce, like one of the awesome new weapons, like we saw Galahorn and Thorn ahead of time before the game is released, it could be something for this next release.
Yeah.
That they were putting out there.
You know what? Okay, so when I think about that, when I first opened up this, when I first opened up the Bungie weekly update, I saw that, and I said, why? Like, after all of the here, I'm gonna put it up on the for everyone can see. So when I first saw this, and they're talking about going to the airport with it, I thought, didn't you guys learn from when you were taking Thorn out into the wild? Like, the amount of hassle they're going to get because of this, I don't feel is worth. They could have had somebody 3D print whatever the hell is in this box in that city and then just drove it over to the event. Like, this would seem like the brighter idea. Like, what is it? What is so important that you have to basically call out the wolves? Why would you do this to yourself?
Well,
maybe
so
the higher ups don't like Deej. They're like, hey Deej, how would you like to take something that looks really dangerous through LAX?
Maybe the problem with Thorn was that, like, they actually didn't label it like that, and people, like, thought they had, like, a hand cannon in their carry-on.
Oh, if you remember, Thorn was in a box by itself, like super padded. And
yeah, it was like a carry-on item, so they had to check
it's still like it's still like a handgun size, so people would be more suspicious of that than, oh, you actually have a rocket launcher? Sure.
I don't know.
Right, someone trying to sneak, like, some explosives on a plane is not going to carry a giant box that says "caution explosives."
I don't know. Maybe that's their tactic. You need to watch some Phineas and Ferb, and you'll see what Dr. Doofenshmirtz does. Okay.
Either way, it wouldn't matter. If you walk into an airport with a box like that, they're going to detain you.
Right. This is what I'm saying. Some portion of that crew is sitting in a padded room.
It doesn't matter if you say, "Hey, it was a joke."
Okay, so if you guys want the official word, since I am a display operator and I do know these rules now, it is illegal to transport X amount of fireworks and explosives across state lines. You actually have to get special permission to do that type of stuff. So yeah, having them say explosives in a container that big, trying to go through an airport, they're gonna have a lot of fun dealing with that. I'll say that much.
Right. One of the higher ups is pissed at Deej right now. He got his cookie or whatever. Deej stick the last donut.
Granted, this could all just be for show, and they will remove those labels when they actually go to.
Or that the whole case is a stage prop and is going to be shipped inside of another case to keep that case safe.
That is true.
I actually think that's what's likely, looking at the shipping containers right behind it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they're taking these on the plane, are they?
Well, I don't know how else are
If they
gonna
haven't
don't have
shipped
much
it
time
now,
to get
it's
the
not going to get
E3.
there in time.
Let's see. Thursday, Monday. It could be an old photo. It's probably shipped off already.
Oh,
Well, also, it's not that far from Seattle to LA.
Mhm.
Detective River is on the case. I like that, River. That's good
Oh,
thinking.
thanks.
It's already
Well,
there. It's already there, and they only posted this now because they didn't want to kick up dirt.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even say on here that it's actually going on the airplane with them. It's talking about a shipping manifest.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's true. Moving on.
Moving on. Earlier this week, Bungie released the standard Crucible version of the new Trials of Osiris game mode Elimination into the wild. It's a limited run event and will only be around until the weekly reset. Unlike the Trials version, in this mode, the power advantages are disabled, the skill matching is enabled, teammate matchmaking is enabled, map cycling is enabled, and rewards are the same as that of the other standard Crucible events.
Cool. Very cool.
So time to practice. It's nice being able to just go in there when I have free time. Like, don't have two other friends who are ready to go practice elimination inside Trials, because that's what I've been wanting to do since Trial came out, is get a lot of practicing, because being a tactical player, I don't do good until I get a lot of practice in a specific game mode. And the no matchmaking in Trials actually was making that rather difficult for me, because a lot of other people I knew were trying to go for committed runs, and I just wanted to go in there and try out tactics and practice.
I could also see this being a really good way of sharing the community with one another. Like, if you go into one of these games and you and this other person are just wrecking, it's really simple to send that person a message and say, hey man, you really kicked ass in there. How about you add me to your friends list? And I would love to play some real Trials with you. Like, I could see that. I mean, does anyone here, would anyone here be opposed to that? This is how you did it back in the day, right, River? Like, you found people who were cool, and you just added them to your friends list. Like, you wrote them a message saying, hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's how SDF started.
There it is. There it is. And so, yeah, I think that this is really cool. I think that when you meet up with other players and you do a really good job, it's really nice to send that person a message. Like, it's a little strange, like I actually played a game with it. Was it a dragon strike, and one of the guys left, and the other guy just stuck it out with me. Oh no, it was the level 28 prisoners. Like one of the guys left in the first round, and this other guy, and so him and I just did the whole thing together. It was really cool to just be put into this situation, and that's kind of why I think that these matchmaking things are really cool.
Did you have chat on?
I did not have chat on, and you know what? Now that you say that, I totally could have, and I totally should have. So, but you can't tell if the other person's saying anything if you're not in that chat, right? Like, the little bubble over their name doesn't say anything.
You get a notification
message that they go into that chat channel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I haven't.
Go in the settings and set that if you're not already in a fire team, that it goes to that channel by default. So if you keep your mic muted regularly, like, that's how I have mine set up. So anytime I'm in a channel, I can just automatically hear if there's someone else talking if I didn't go in there with a fire team.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's something that people that don't have kids get to do.
Nice.
You want to keep your mic on mute,
Yeah, this is awesome. I haven't played it yet, but I don't know. Like, I've been playing a lot more. I've been playing a lot more Crucible, and it's really, I don't know. I went into Beast mode and Iron Banner. We'll see if we have some topics for that later, but why don't we get back to this?
You stirred it up when we were playing the other day.
Right? Okay, so I didn't play any Iron Banner on PlayStation. I played Iron Banner on the Xbox. And something that I had decided to do was to go in blind. I don't remember who it was that said it on Twitter, and River, I think that you commented on this person. They said that no Team Iron Banner from them this week because they had better luck going in with randoms. Do you remember who said that? I think it was River Tamcat.
Yeah, it was River Tamcat, because I was hoping that she was going to join me up into the Iron Banner. Yes. But she respectfully declined, and it was too bad.
Right, and so once I read that tweet, something happened. Like, I started really thinking about that. Like, I do well when I don't go in with my friends as well, and so I kind of tried that out a little bit, and then I realized what it was. It was because I was not audibly communicating my displeasure with being just absolutely slaughtered by a well-placed shotgun round. So because I wasn't saying, God damn it, sharks, why does this guy keep killing me? Because I didn't say that out loud, it didn't continue to be real. Like
It's like the other day. Not to interrupt you, but it's like the other day when we were going to play, but your phone was broken, and I just couldn't see the point because we couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And you need to communicate if you're going to, fight through something.
But
I see that. I totally see that.
You know what? You got to take into consideration skill-based matchmaking. Okay, so when I go in with a lot of the harder core people on my friends list that are awesome and Lighthouse every week and things like that. I'll get slaughtered. I won't do well. I'll be at the bottom of the list every game. Like I strive to get my 1.0, but a lot of times I won't be able to at least to even hit that when I play with them. But then I go into a solo match. And over and over and over again, I'm at the top of the list with 2.0, 3.0 KDs, killing 30 people in a match. Like, it feels like I'm running around. Everybody else is moving in slow motion in those matches to me, like I'm doing so well.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
And I think that's because of the skill-based matchmaking. They assign each person a value. And when you join a team of a whole bunch of people that value is greater than yours, that's going to jack up the skill levels of everybody on the team.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right, so if you go in with randoms, you're going in with random people who are closer to your skill level.
Your value that their matchmaking system has assigned you. Basically, their matchmaking system is assigning you a value based upon your skills, your wins and losses, and your KDR over time. You're getting a number assigned to you, and you have a value. And if they put you on a team, your value say is 10, and they put you on a team with 5 other 10s, then your total value is 50 for your whole team. So that other team can only total approximately 50 in value as well. Now, if you join up with a squad of people and 2 people on that squad are worth 50 by themselves, well, all of a sudden now your other team's worth, at least, whatever that adds up to.
Yeah.
So you're playing people of that skill caliber then.
Yeah. So yeah, I can totally see that. And it's funny because I've been trying to I want Trevor to enter into the Crucible. Like I want him to just naturally be skilled versus a person player. Like I want him to not be afraid of it. I want it to just not even be a thing. I don't want him to feel the aggression. I want him just to feel the gameplay. And one of the ways I've been preparing him for this is just letting him go in and seeing what he does. And it's way too much dancing and looking at other people's gear. Number one. Number two, I've been letting him watch Bife's videos on the Crucible. And when we got to the very first one of the things that Bife says he does is he doesn't go into chat channels. Like when he's not running with his close group of friends, he doesn't go into the random chat channels. And what this does, he says, is reduces toxicity. And and this is exactly what I'm talking about by going into this Crucible by myself, essentially, and not being able to say, oh, did you see that guy totally slaughter me with this rocket launcher? What a dick. Like it just goes on. It just goes on. It's done. And I'm looking at my radar again, and I'm setting myself up for the next engagement.
Helps you detach yourself.
It absolutely does. And so this all came to a head in the Iron Banner, like the day before it reset and left. I had 2 losses. I had gone in and got 2 losses. And on the 3rd game, I went and bought that buff. And on the 3rd game, we won. And I went all the way to rank 1. Like with just those 2 wins and that score, we went all the way to rank 1. And the very next game, it was on. Damn, I don't remember the name of it. It's the one where it's on Venus, and and the center capture point is super important. But I went there, and like my teammates were just getting killed, and they were killing. And I came into that spot, and I killed 5 dudes. Like in the first 45 seconds of this thing, I killed 5 dudes right there, and then got shut down by the 6th person who came in. It was crazy. It was so crazy, and it felt so good because it felt like when you're on a surfboard, and the surfboard just kind of starts moving on its own because that's what physics do. Physics do a certain amount of things. If you have these requirements met, this is what's going to happen. And I just flowed with it. I just came in and wrecked those dudes, and I don't think that they knew what to do with that. I mean, I think we still lost that game. I lost 2 games where I came out 2-0 and above. Like, I don't know why I lose the games where I do so well, but it makes me feel better. It makes me feel much better. Not doing bad myself. But yeah, anybody else have a chance to play Iron Banner this last time?
No.
I got to rank 3 on 2 of my characters. Which
Oh,
is nice.
awesome! You did that to get to that ethereal light, yes?
Yeah, I got my Warlock to 34 with that, and I got my Titan to one less of 34, one etheric light less. But I did do 34 this week on my Warlock, so my Titan can be 34 now, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And I at least got boots on both my characters. I wasn't able to get high enough to get the gloves, but I got boots.
Yeah, I'm saving up. I'm going to be doing the raid boots just because having those extra 2 rockets is huge. River, did you play some Iron Banner?
Hell yeah, I played Iron Banner.
Where did you get? Well, you were really quiet.
Nah, I wanted to give these other guys a chance to talk because I talk about PvP all the time.
I appreciate it. Why don't you give us your breakdown?
No, I only managed to get rank 5 for my hunter, and I got my warlock up to rank 2, almost rank 3. But that's just because I just ran out of time.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
How much time would you say that you spent in there?
Oh, jeez. I don't know, man. I mean,
I always ask
1,
this
2.
because I want to know. I want to know what kind of time I have to block out for this. You know, like I want to do this. I want to gain these ranks. I want to buy that ethereal light. I want some of that gear. I'm really, really upset that I'm not going to be able to get that Titan's banner, the Titan's class item from the first Iron Banner. Like if I had known that it was going away, and I should have, I would have bought that because that's other than the mark of the 6 fronts. That's my favorite mark. Like I think it looks so cool.
Estimating, I probably put in like, I don't know, 17 hours maybe
Man,
throughout the entire week. So that was like, 2 hours this day, 2 hours this day, maybe 3 on some other day.
Yeah, I'd say I put in about that much time myself for my 2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, I totally could have had 3, but had
Life.
other things going on.
Jez, what about you? Did you go into the Iron Banner?
So yeah, I started going into the Iron Banner with guildmates, and that true skill matchmaking thing always puts me at the bottom of the charts. So that was kind of disheartening. However, later that night, which is Monday, so it's like on the wire, I was like, I think I'll try to get to like rank 3 at least. And because I really wanted Galleon's Demise. I just like scout rifles, and I wanted just to have the option of it. And so I was playing just by myself, and I was watching TV, not actually concentrating on the game at all, and I was doing fairly well, like in the top 3 of my team, sometimes top 1 of my team. And it's like, I can keep going, and I kept going, and 5:30 in the morning, which is 30 minutes before reset, I hit rank 4.
That's awesome. That's way awesome. Were you worried about it, or did you feel like you had a good enough trajectory?
I was fine. I just kind of wanted, at that point, I'm like, I'll just keep pushing it and get those gloves, because they look kind of interesting with the things. I don't really like the hooker boots, though. Like, you know the boots I'm talking about, River, because you're a hunter.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, those gloves are pretty cool.
I like the hooker boots.
Yeah, try using blacksmith shader.
Oh no, are they like bright gold?
Yeah, well, yellow. They're yellow.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
because
funny.
the new
They're
gear
real
seems
hooker
the
boots.
shaders, how they work for the characters.
What about you, Agrios? Did you play much Iron Banner?
I did. I took full advantage of the playing in the later than the week with the tempered buff, and the fact that the 2 following characters level up at double speed now, and I put in an amazingly little amount of time and got all 3 characters to rank 5 and bought 1 of everything.
Awesome. That's excellent. That's excellent. It's great to have you on the podcast, Agrios. I need someone who's going to play that ridiculous amount of Destiny, and I don't know. I don't know who else I'd get for that. You know, the Jez plays a ridiculous amount, but I kind of feel like you're a much more rabid dog in that arena, and Jez is a much more calculated rabid dog in that arena.
Also, not very calculated in the fact that I'll splinter off into other games for hours and hours at a time. So I don't
The
put
hell
all
you
my time
say?
into it.
Right.
I'm one of
Jez
those-
plays other games.
How dare you?
I'm one of
I don't
those
even know
rare
how he
people,
does it.
one of those rare people that
How do you do
still
it?
play other things and still can go
How?
back.
How?
Selecting a different icon at the screen where you choose
Oh,
your
you're
game.
funny. Har.
Excellent.
My fingers are destiny controlled. My fingers have a
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Continuing, Agrios?
It's been 22 days since House of Wolves has dropped. Since then, 378,511 fire teams have taken down Skolas. This week, they brought us, as promised, a heat map detailing where Guardian spent most of their time in his cell. Remy, did you have that by chance?
Yep, it's on the screen right now.
Awesome. As you can see, Guardian spent most of their time in the corners of his cell. It's no surprise. You can see where most groups cut that sharp left, immediately going in and dive over there where the many groups make their final stand right off the bat against Skolas. And of course, there's the very defendable platform with no stairs or ramps leading to it in the other corner. And aside from that, it looks like Guardians mainly make laps, which is a good move.
You know, I've found that as well. Even with as few times as I've played the Prison of Elders, I find that there are certain parts of the map that are completely barren of life. Like everyone, you know, if you stand over here for a certain amount of time, all of those creatures go that way. And if you can run in the other direction, there's oftentimes, you know, you can buy yourself 30 seconds without having to look at a dude. I think that's really cool. And you're right, it does look. This is really amazing. These heat maps are really amazing, and I'm glad that they brought them out.
Well, for every one of those arenas, the best move, if you start to see too many enemies on your side, jump to the other side, pick off a couple from range, and then when they start coming over, go back to your initial spot. Because that'll stretch them across the entire arena. They're not all on you at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Laps is just a great tactic for almost any of the major battles in this game. If you don't have a secure location, or as some people call some of them cheese spots, you yeah, I find laps to be an extremely good tactic for almost any of them. I remember back when I was still level 24, I soloed one of the early heroic weekly strikes, the summoning pits, by just lapping Fogoth for what seemed like an eternity, picking away at him.
You know, I wonder how many people you'd have to get to interact in order to make a smiley face on this. You know, some people go around with GPS coordinates, and they'll make smiley faces or whatever on their things, or marry me. Like if we were to put just a smiley face right here, how many Guardians would we need to play in these areas just to do this? Because they said that, oh no, this is how many people finished you got a victory over Skolas. So that's not this. Yeah, I wonder how many people you'd have to make a face in there.
They didn't specify that the heat map was only made by the people who got the victory. They just said this is where you spent your time. So this could be the culmination of everybody who tried as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know, I didn't get a chance to really talk about the heat maps last time. There was this thing that I wanted to point out, that these heat maps have a lot more information than back in the Halo days. Because in Halo, they never really said how long you were airborne for, or how much time you spent in certain areas. Just, where you got killed and where you made kills, and that was really it. So they're really collecting a lot more data this time around, and I think they're going to use that to their advantage this game a lot better.
Definitely. definitely. I think that what they've done is they took the learnings from their Halo years, and they're just like, man, if we had to rewrite this whole engine, I would make a list of every single action, and I would have that taggable or linkable. Like they probably thought at some point, like, oh man, where do people spend most of their time? Jumping. Like that's an interesting metric. So yeah, I don't know. But this is awesome.
I just wanted to point that out, and it's just a good tool for them to use to make this game better.
I really would love to have the custom maps I hear you guys talk about from the Halo days. That would be. I mean, I'm a little bit of a like sort of spreadsheet informational kind of gathering junkie, and like something like that. I would study things like that for way too long.
Man. Oh, they had some great stats, man. They tell you how many kills you had with each weapon. I don't even think that's on Bungie.net now, right?
I don't think so either. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like you're going in there and seeing like, oh, you killed this many people with fist. This many people with submachine gun. This many people with grenade.
This is how many shanks you killed.
Yeah. You know what? I think that might be available if you go to the Grimoire. You can see how many you have out of how many. So it's like, 25,000 out of, 20,000 or whatever. Like, I think that you can actually look up that specific, but it's not laid out the way it was previously.
Yeah, it's not very accessible.
But I mean, on top of that, some of these heat maps would contain, like you could look at a specific game and you could play through it as it was. You could see who you killed from where and who killed you from where. Like it was really amazing. It was really an amazing breakdown. And I think that this is just another example of something that's going to come in the future. Like the Destiny needed to be X, and that did not include right now to be those specifics.
I really like the heat maps too, just because if they could do that stuff real time, that would be awesome to see in the like league games, professional games and stuff like that. Like being able to see a heat map after each map would be really cool to have, and that'd be something I think would just add a lot of value to professional matches.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Anyone on this? And then continuing.
Continuing. Update. Oh wait. Ooh, lost my spot there. Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
Update 1.2.0.3 is set to deploy during E3. If your fire team was having some trouble taking Skolas down, this is going to be the answer to your problems. A lot of Guardians, only the 378,511 have beat him so far, and a lot of Guardians have not managed to take him down. They're going to make some changes to hopefully help with this problem. And to detail those, they brought in creative director Christopher Barrett. The elemental burns prove to be too punishing, and this makes it too tempting to rely on one common tactic, such as 3 Gallahorns on a solar burn. In addition, the difficulty swings too wildly from week to week, and the average playtimes are tracking much longer than intended. He credits internal feedback in forums like Reddit or Bungie.net, fan sites, and social media for sources in helping him decide the course of action here. And their goal is they wanted to make the Skolas encounter to be challenging and require teamwork, only in a more predictable way that didn't feel cheap. Changes in the update include new modifier combinations. The Arc Void and Solar Burns are going to be removed. Boss health is reduced to compensate for the lack of burn. And minions will spawn at predictable health intervals. Minor adjustments are also being made to the unit makeup of the combatant waves. They do, however, warn that to ensure that he'll still have a fighting chance, there will be some more skulls for you to juggle. So they'll be stacking the modifiers on there. What do you guys think about these changes? Have you guys had trouble with Skullus? Do you think this is warranted, or do you think that they're a little too nerf happy?
I think it's a little bit too nerfed in a way, but I think the one change, the reliable enemy spawns, is probably the best change they made. I was thinking that they're possibly going to make him go immune after every change in transition of phase. So he would, like, as soon as he starts tainting someone, he would go immune. So burn down strategies didn't work. But
Oh yeah.
but this works as well because it's kind of influencing you to play it more to the actual arena's intended use. So you'd be like, okay, ads are out, let's clear ads, and then after that we'll work on the boss. It's
Interesting.
much more tactical way to do it than throw your rockets at him.
Interesting. I wish that I had a chance to play this more often to really get the feel of them. But I'll tell you what, 3 Yellowhorns is going to mess up anything. I don't care if it's solar burn or not. That's a legitimate tactic as far as I'm concerned. Like just one Yellowhorn. Like oftentimes when I'm out in the wild, I will.
Rockets.
What's that?
That's 42 total Gallahorn rockets with heavy ammo boots and popping a synth halfway through, slamming into Skullus.
Right.
See.
It doesn't need to be a solar burn for that to be a problem for Skullus' day.
Well, the problem with that, then you're bringing up the reason why everyone uses the Yellowhorn is because it does much more damage than everything else.
Yep.
Right, because it's awesome. Right.
Overpowered?
I'm surprised they hadn't done anything to it yet.
You know, okay,
I think the problem with the Gallahorn, though, is if they touch it, then everyone's going to moan and groan and complain, and it's just going to sit in everyone's vault. Like, I think that's the one problem, is that for those who have it and then it gets nerfed somehow, like, it's going to be the end of their world, and then it's going to be like No Land Beyond, and no one wants to use it.
Service regime.
Think of it this way.
I still use that.
The Yellowhorn is so good, so no one really uses anything else. How many of the new weapons have you been using, or have you been just using your Bolt of Glass, Vision of Confluence, and Fatebringer?
Okay, so
If I had them up, then I'd probably use them more often, but I don't have them up to 365 yet.
Vision of Confluence is awesome.
See, I think in general, the old legendaries are still better than new legendaries.
Yep.
So they kind of dug themselves a hole in making the guns too powerful from the get-go.
okay, so part of my thinking is that I am like super addicted to leveling up gear. So like even if that gear is not what I should be using for a specific example, but this only goes until I get into an end game piece of content. Like when I go into the Prison of Elders, I always use the most whatever that I have, just because I want to do the max damage. There's no reason to do less damage than I possibly can. But as far as just going about, doing the different bounties, I will always use just any underleveled weapon, because I really like leveling up gear. I love watching the experience meter going around and putting bounties on weapons. And for some reason, I really enjoy that. And I still will save blue and green items until I put at least one bounty's worth of experience into it, so that I can possibly double or triple the amount of materials I get out of it. And I think this is the reason why I have yet to run out of any materials whatsoever, because I just keep putting them back at a decent rate. And I also don't spend 47 exotic engrams worth of materials to get what I'm looking for. I've just decided that I will get those pieces of gear whenever the game decides that I get those pieces of gear. I'm excited mostly about the ACDO and those hunter boots that give you a triple or quadruple jump. that's nuts to me. And I want to play with those things so bad. Like, that's going to be fun. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, like the RAM is cool, but I don't really need it. Same thing with Spartan Warrior, man. Like, I don't need that helmet either. Like it'll be cool. I'll be happy to get it. But after I spent 46 motes on 2 engrams and then only got things that I had gotten before, I thought, what am I doing? I can't do this. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot where we were going.
I'm very fortunate with my engrams lately. I got 1 helmet engram and got the RAM out of it, and I got 1 chest engram, got the purifier robes.
Yeah, the Nightfall gave me purifier robes this week, so I was pretty happy with that.
Awesome.
Iron Banner gave me Yellowhorn.
Woo!
That's way awesome.
Welcome to the club.
I know it.
Oh, that was your first? I missed that.
Yeah, man, that was my first.
I totally missed that. I missed my beats.
Oh,
K-Dub,
man, it was
stop
incredible.
K-Dub,
Aw,
stop raging.
congrats.
I was so happy. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I can't believe that it has been so long.
And you know what? There's other people who still don't have one.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
So, did you wake anyone up in your house when you got it?
No, man. It was way too late, and all I really did was like that intake of breath, that quick intake of breath, and I was like, no way. And I had to get a picture and all that stuff.
When I got my Hawk Moon, I had to be careful not to wake anyone up in my house because it was like 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't. You were pretty loud.
Yeah, but you have Mythoclast, Crimson Warlock. Do you have Mythoclast, River?
No, I need to get that and Fatebringer and.
I don't have a Fatebringer yet either. So
Yeah.
Fatebringer is taking longer for me to farm than Mythoclast, and I've done almost full raids every single time I've gone for Atheon on hard mode.
I hear there's like this hawk of thing. Still haven't got that yet.
It's pretty sweet.
That's
it's
what I
pretty
hear.
Sweet. You will really like it whenever it becomes available to you.
Hopefully you get all
what's
that stuff. The comet hits, and the Taken King or whatever it's purported to be in September hits. Hopefully you just get all the PlayStation exclusives by then, because I don't like. I think they hold it out too long. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll probably have all that stuff whenever Taken King hits, and then we'll have another year of PS exclusives coming around. That's really what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least you get everything.
I am glad there wasn't like PlayStation exclusive weapons this time around with the House of Wolves too, and just like the one map really is kind of a fresh breath of fresh air for everyone to get basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys think that Xur is going to sell it once it's available to everyone?
If we're lucky. there's so many weapons now, and with him only selling one, I think it's rare for anyone to really get the one gun from Xur that they want.
But do you think they'll be added to the pool of possibilities, or do you think they'll be forever excluded because they're not already on that list?
I'm sure they'll edit that list to include it. But who knows? Maybe what will happen is, those will unlock and Xur will sell Hawk Moon and Monte Carlo for 4 weeks in a row, and everyone will be like, we're sick of these guns.
I really want the Monte Carlo. I'm really looking forward to picking up the Monte Carlo.
I just have to say, I wish one other class could feel Warlock's pain, because Xur hasn't sold any one single exotics for 4 weeks in a row, except for to Warlocks with those Sunbreakers.
Sad.
Well, I think you should feel Hunter's pain in only being able to use your helmet, because everything else is bad.
That is true. Well, I don't know. The new gloves are pretty sweet, I've heard.
Not everything else is bad.
Well, they're not
touch me for
bad
the right
so much.
situations, and I like to wear my Lucky Raspberry in PvP.
It's just the helm is more. It's better overall compared to very.
You mean individually?
Yeah,
it's the most versatile, I think.
Because I use Alpha Lupi as a team player, because I'm a team player.
Yeah,
Well, like-
I do that too. I was gonna say that.
See, warlocks mostly use their chess piece for their exotic slot because they have so many of them. We only have 2. I
Now,
want
see,
a chess piece.
I use the chess piece for PvP because I like Voidfang Vestments for the Warlock, but for the for anything else, for normal play, I almost always have an exotic helmet on my Warlock for PvE.
I always use when going into PvP, I always use the Voidfang Vestments because being able to just spawn with a grenade is insane.
And that extra Seeker is nice too. I triple down with that grenade.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Otherwise, if I'm in PvE, I tend to use the that totally black hat. I forgot what it's called. But
The
being
Obsidian
able,
Mine.
yeah, being able to regain superpower by supering an enemy that's really powerful. That's really awesome.
Oh, it's great with the bad juju too, because it does well. You get extra superpower with the bad juju.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's way
All
awesome.
stacks them.
All right. So continuing, moving on.
Recently, Bungie rolled out a new connection recovery system, and so far, connection recovery has rescued 1,419,600 Guardians from being kicked to orbit. Unbeknownst to us, over the past week, connection recovery events were enabled for Crucible, Patrols, and Raid events. This means that more Guardians are staying in the fight and not being returned to orbit with an error code.
Excellent. Good job, you guys.
Right.
Yeah, the less people getting booted to orbit, the better, for certain. Did anybody notice a significant... I don't get kicked to orbit very often at all. It's an extreme rarity for me. So do any of you have a regular problem with that, and have you noticed a reduction? Because apparently you can tell when you're being serviced... That doesn't sound... When you're being, when you're being helped by...
So yes,
being
I notice
like
whenever I'm being
recovery.
serviced.
Yeah, being serviced is really nice.
Right, and having that happen in Destiny is like, what is even going on?
You get the little notification down on the right, say instead of saying trying to connect to Destiny servers, it'll say that they're trying to reconnect you, try to save your life, basically.
Right.
And I've got
so
that a few
has anybody
times.
noticed that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. It sounds harrowing. It sounds like a nail biter. Okay, so what I want to know now that they've given us that percentage, what percentage is, or that they've given us that number, I wonder what the percentage is that actually helped. Like, okay, so it's helped 1 million, however many people. What is that? What does that mean exactly? I don't suppose they give you that piece of information, huh, Agrios?
No, they do not have that. But that would be a really interesting, a success rate as, when it's implemented, how many times does it save it out of how many times? That would be a really nice number to know.
Okay, so yeah, so it's up on the screen now. Trying to reconnect. For more information, visit help.bungie.net and search for error code baboon. Very cool. Very cool. I wonder what's happening. Like, so does this mean that you are still playing the game and this shows up, or have you been brought to a blank screen and your friends are still screwed without you?
Well, your friends, I believe, are still continuing. You're probably lagged out in their screen. You're probably standing there running into a corner in a wall, not actually taking any damage from anything, while this is or something of that nature, I would imagine. And basically it's holding your place in that prison of elders there, and it's trying to reconnect you instead of before it just would boot you to orbit automatically and you'd have to rejoin at a new join point. And if it manages to make the reconnection up, it has that memory of where you were and just bloop, right back to where you were.
Yes.
So then, do you think that's what happened to you in PvP this last week? I think with that hunter that would never take damage.
Well, see, no, not exactly. I mean, when you're being helped by connection recovery, I almost said it again. When you're being helped by connection recovery, you go to a black screen, and at the bottom, it has that thing that Remy put up there, that attention this. So that never happened to me. I was never removed from battle. Everything seemed to be functioning for me the whole time. I have my PlayStation hardwired at a very high internet connection speed, so I very rarely have any sort of issues. And I think if the hunter was having this issue, he wouldn't have been able to as dynamically run around and instantly kill 3 people on my team. Actually 4, because someone was killed right before I got over to him and started knifing him. So it killed 4 people in a row on my team running that pattern that he ran if he was in fact suffering from it. Now, could he have been suffering from a really bad connection and that wasn't reflected in the game? Because when I was dead, you can see on my video, everybody in the game has completely full green bars. There's no, nobody had deficient connection at all. So I don't know whether there was cheating involved there or it was just really bad lag on, Bungie's end and didn't reflect in the player connection statistics or what. But that was by far the most ridiculous example, although I had many other problems during this past week. How about on the Xbox? Or was the lag particularly bad for this past Iron Banner? Do you have any unique experiences like that, River? Did you see that tweet I sent?
Some lag.
You're breaking up there, River.
You seem to be experiencing some lag.
Yeah.
Please go to help.bungie.net and look up code baboon. Okay, so until he comes back, I did notice some lag in some points. There would be matches where I would see a Titan come in and do his Fist of Havoc, and I would have already started jumping because you know that when they're running up to you and they don't have a shotgun equipped, you know what they're about to do. So I thought I was safely out, and so I just kept shooting people, and there was probably a full 5 seconds from the time that he hit the ground on my screen and the time I died, and none of the stuff that I did in between mattered. Like it was getting pretty horrible at some points, but it wasn't so horrible that I had to stop playing. I just hoped for the best, like I don't know. River, are you back?
Really bad.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Oh, that's exactly what happened to you?
Yeah. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. You get your 1 or 2 that are kind of laggy matches. Whether or not that's the other team, who knows? But it wasn't anything significant where I wanted to throw my controller at my TV or anything.
Exactly.
I had a lot of instances where I felt like, oh my god, how long was I just shooting that guy longer than necessary? That he was probably dead from my first 2 trigger pulls at him. And I sat there pumping the whole rest of the clip into him. It was apparently unnecessary that he actually died. And I wonder how many times I got killed because I'm spending time shooting someone I think is still alive that maybe someone else has even killed. Because I've shot someone and be like, why in the world didn't I kill them? And it's probably because someone had killed them a second and a half before that, before I even maybe shot at them.
Oh, interesting.
And
See,
so
my
I wonder
favorite
how many
is when
times
you
they killed
blade
because
dance.
of that situation.
What was that, Jess?
My favorite is when you blade dance into some guy and you hit him like 3 or 4 times and they just slowly turn around and shotgun you and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's just not right. I mean, for people who didn't see the tweet, if you check my Twitter feed, you can see the video I sent out earlier in the week. But there's literally this hunter who started blade dancing, and I ran away from him as he killed someone. And I came back around his back after he had finished blade dancing, and I knifed him in the back what must have been 20 times as he ran around and with a shotgun dropped 4 people in a row, or 3 people in a row after that point, myself included. And it was just completely ridiculous. And I'm not saying he was cheating for sure. All the connections were fine, though. And either way, it was a very broken experience, very disheartening.
Yeah, that sucks. Anyone else? Moving on. Or
They're also
continuing.
aware of an issue where some players are unable to receive the ship from completing the level 35 arena challenge in the Prison of Elders. And they just need you to bear with them. They're actively investigating this issue. So if you're unlucky enough to not have gotten a ship yet, hopefully you'll be able to get one soon. They also offer a reminder. Reforging a weapon that you have previously ascended will remove the applied etheric light. The etheric light in question will not be returned to your inventory, and ascension will be removed. etheric light being as precious as it is, apparently they must be having issues with people not realizing they lose the ascension, lose that 365 on their weapon if they decide to reforge it.
Did they clarify that whenever they introduced the ascending, system?
They did. I was made aware of this. I mean, they didn't clarify it when they introduced it, but they have clarified it directly in print since then.
Today?
I know on Reddit, the very first day that House of Wolves came out, someone had a big post like, "Yeah, I took one for the team. This is what happened." So, like, the Reddit community was aware of it at that point.
Mhm.
And I've seen this addressed by Bungie Help before. So apparently, it's an ongoing issue.
Okay, because I didn't even think about it as that being a problem until somebody mentioned it, and I'm glad it didn't bite me in the butt later on. I just don't think it was as widely released information as we would like to.
Well, I think the UI on the Ascension at the Gunsmith could have been more clear about it for sure.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys did that, so sorry. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
Yes.
The movie of the week this week, actually, we have a GIF and a video. They both involve well-placed Nova bombs. So,
I did see this week's.
They're not very intricate, but they're impressive to say the least.
So, like, I feel like this is what happens when you're a middle of the road PvPer. Like there's the first step of people who don't know what they're doing, and nobody will capture a frickin' capture point. Like, people just run straight by, completely unconfronted capture points to go and try and shoot other Guardians. And this does not help our team. Like, we need to capture points. Then there's the second level.
Depends on the capture point.
Then there's the second level where it says Agrios. Are you feeling guilty over there?
No, like in certain maps, if you take a certain capture point, you will doom your team. Like on Blind Watch, everybody should always run past A. Do not capture it. Go directly to C and control C and B. The team who controls A will almost always lose.
No. Sorry, Agrios. I mean, it does make things difficult, but it is not a guaranteed lose, man. Sorry.
No, but it makes it difficult. You have to run from so far away.
No, totally agree with you. I never try to capture A, man. I'm just saying it does not completely doom your team.
I'm just talking about
it's more of an
your
uphill
team,
battle.
when your
It
team
sure
will
is.
capture
It's
any
still an
point.
uphill battle.
All right, we lost somebody there.
I'm here. Oh my gosh, you didn't lose me.
You're here, Agrios. You still here?
I'm here.
Okay.
Did we lose Crimson?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Jazz?
Jazz.
We just canceled each other out.
Still here.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I'm talking about when nobody on your team will capture anything at all. I'm not talking about going for A. I'm talking about any at all. And then there's the second level of Guardian teamwork where they all capture the same spot at the same time. And then there's the third level where, you get strategic about this. You and you stay here. Me and him are going to run over there. You guys go that way. And what this was this second level where everyone's like, hey, everybody, let's all sit on this capture point. And that guy just threw that Nova bomb right up and over. It was funny and a touch sad.
It was really interesting because I don't really play Warlock, so I'm not really too privy with Warlock supers. But it was really nice to see these guys finesse using the Nova Bomb, like going over the steps in the Burning Shrine using that. What's that effect called? Whenever it does the little arc.
Scatter.
No. How gravity takes over and it goes down.
Projectile motion.
Yeah, whatever. But anyways, how
It's arcing. It's arcing.
Yeah. Anyways, it's arcing. He like tosses it over the steps, and it just does this. Just goes right over it.
Right, lands perfectly.
Yeah,
What
it
do
was
you
pretty.
mean?
It was pretty
Unless
perfect.
you mean lob.
Oh yeah, he lobs it way up in the air, like way over the building and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun, River. Like the arc that the projectile takes is pretty fun. I've been trying to use javelin. I've been trying to use javelin, which just puts it right in a straight line. But I've been whiffing really bad. Like I'm thinking I need to go back to it just because having it land sooner is better than it just going right past them. And that's such a bummer. Just throwing away a super like that.
Yeah, after watching these videos, I was actually kind of disappointed in myself because in Iron Banner I got a 4-person kill with my Nova bombs. I shared that on Twitter, but I was like, if only I'd gotten the other 2 teammates with it.
I don't know how many people I got exactly. I didn't save it, but I had an 1125 point Nova Bomb the other day.
That's crazy. That's way crazy. Moving on.
Moving on. That's all for the update. They state they're saving the rest for E3 and tell us to watch the Bungie.net newsreader and their Twitter feed for coming news. And as we said before, there was the leak that we had mentioned earlier in the show, so minor spoilers ahead, but the E3 reveal should involve the Taken King and hopefully identifies what's going to be coming out on September 15th of this year, which will mark the 1-year anniversary since Destiny's release. There's a new site out in the wild. I noticed this week on Reddit. It's called the IshtarCollective.net. It puts the grimoire cards in a nice searchable format that you can search by topic. He's keyworded everything, from places to people to things, and you can click on a keyword and see all of the grimoire cards in as chronologically ordered as possible about the particular topic you're looking for. And I was just talking to Sharks last week about trying to find a resource like this because I was really interested in trying to understand more of a chronological storyline to the events of Destiny and getting more into that aspect than the little bits and pieces I've managed to pick up from just reading grimoire cards here and there. I more want to read a complete story at once so I can, reference those ideas in my head. And this is a very simple and well put together site that allows you to do that. So I'll post the link in the chat there. But
and for those of you watching, I have it up on the video right now. Continue.
So everybody go check that out if you're into the grimoire. I'm going to make great use of that. I already learned all kinds of things I thought I should have already known just by spending some time there. Something else interesting, the airborne modifier. Actually, it has to do with when the shots land, not when they're shot. The airborne modifier gives you more damage while you're in the air. So if you fire off a rocket, it's more important to be in the air when it hits your target than when you shoot it off.
That sucks.
Nah, that's tactics, man. That's strategy. Make it
know.
happen.
I don't know. I guess the velocity of the warhead would really come into play at that point, because unless you're a warlock, which can basically just stop your fall completely, what are the chances that you're gonna not be on the ground when that hits? That seems
get those boots.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
How about
do a quad jump.
Well, you just
Fire, then
shoot
jump.
and then jump immediately after you shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be interesting to try. But that is good information to know.
I also am curious, does the airborne modifier enhance the damage of the Scorch Cannon, too? Because that's kind of important, too. Very easy to be in the air when you let go of the button to blow the Scorch Cannon round up.
Oh, man, totally. I wonder if landing and then taking back off changes it. That's a really good question. Good thinking.
Something else worth checking out over on Reddit, someone has put together a time-lapse of HUDless screenshots from Destiny. Now, we've had some time lapses of the environments before in Destiny, but this one I think has done a really well put together one, and they're HUDless, and it's worth a watch. I've posted the link over in the to the Reddit post in the comments there, and I highly recommend going over and checking that out. It's well worth the view.
Excellent.
There's also a very interesting post of a glitch that happened in the Crucible this week, where a blade dancer hit and killed a person, and apparently some sort of glitch caused him to continue killing him over and over and over again. And he ended up getting all these medals and 80 kills off this one blade dancer kill. It's a very, very interesting glitch when it goes off. There's also interesting reactions. Definitely some language, so be warned on that. The interesting part is, too, the Guardian from the other side of the battle, the one who got killed is the one who initially posted it on Reddit. And the Guardian who made the kill also saved the footage and found the Reddit post, and you can see both sides of it over there.
I just have to say I feel bad for the guy who got killed, because if he cared about his KD at all, he's never getting that back.
Well, no,
R.I.P.
he is
KD.
getting that back. Bungie has already removed the Crucible match from his record.
Oh, okay.
Oh, awesome.
This was the very first day after they had posted it on Reddit. Somebody at Bungie caught wind of it and removed the match from his records already before he had even made it back to check the first time.
Oh, okay. It made me feel bad. I'm like, man, that guy's never going to be able to recover from that. It's just always going to be like, I mean, I almost want to see his screen. I haven't seen the victim, but was it 0.00 at the end of the match for his KD?
I think the video's cut off before they actually played the end of the match. They just did the segment where it happened, and it's worth watching. I think the guy who did it too, just from his reaction when it happens, he's like, "I broke the game," and it's pretty funny.
That is funny.
Also this week, a new item popped up on Bungie's community wish list. They have a list detailing what Bungie is hearing from the community, not necessarily what they're actively working on, but messages they've heard loud and clear from the community, and they've added weapon rebalancing to the list. Many believe this is in response to the outcry against the auto rifle nerfing. What do you guys feel about this being added to the list?
I'm gonna say auto rifles wasn't the catalyst, but some sort of Hawk Moon Thorn last word combination might have been.
Yeah.
I think it could be a combination in the community of probably both of those. Because I see a huge number of Reddit posts, for instance, about, can we get over the AR nerf and, fix them? They shouldn't have had that much. They should have had this or that or not both, blah, blah, blah. They should have buffed everything else and then seen how auto rifles work, then adjusted them. But then also, like you say, there's the, Trials of Thorn.
Right, the Trials of Thorn. The Thorns of Osiris.
The Game of Thorns.
Yep, however you want to phrase it, but
right, the Iron Bummer.
Yeah, I've gotten the new auto rifle. I actually got that last night from 34 when I opened the chest, and
Nice.
I used it in PvP right after that, and it's really fun to use. It's really nice. It's an auto rifle that actually kills things in PvP.
I feel like this is simply always going to be there. I feel like at no point in time are even Bungie going to feel like they are done rebalancing these weapons. Every move they make changes, some other part of the game. And I just want to know who the fool was that said, oh, let's just totally kill off auto rifles. Because I'm to kill between even Suros Regime, which should be a pretty badass weapon. When you look at that versus Thorn or Last Word, it just doesn't. There is no competition there. Like, if you want to be good, if you want to win in PvP, you need to be using a certain weapon or a certain weapon type. Now, I know this doesn't go to everyone. I know that there's people who can go into Iron Banner or Crucible or Trials or whatever and use any weapon and still come out on top. But as far as the base comparisons go, there is no base comparison between these two. Like, if I'm going up against somebody with, the last word, that's one shot, all of my shields and some of my life, 2 shots dead. That's just it. There is no, and by that time I've already put 5, 6, 7 shots into my opponent, and it's I'm still not anywhere near, having taken down even all of their shields, and I don't know why I keep going back to it. I know that I really should just sack up and go get my last word ready, like, this is what's going to need to be. I need to use that until they nerf it, or else I won't be competitive. And I'm going to be upset when I come across people who use this. Like, this happened to us the other night. It just, we went into just a regular daily Crucible match and just got torn to shreds, absolute shreds. And we're no slouches. It's not like we're total idiots that don't know how to play the game, but it, there's certain things that you need. I mean, River, I heard you snicker there for a second. Was that because you agreed with me, or is that because you don't agree with me? What is your take on this?
Oh, I agree with you. It's totally fine. I just use bad juju.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, I've been using that a lot because of the build that I have. I have a lot of emphasis on discipline and strength in my build, and my my intelligence factor isn't really that high, so I use bad juju to kind of balance that out, and I've found a lot of success with that.
Awesome. That sounds really good.
Like you were saying, it's not the same for everybody, and you're right. If you want to be competitive, you will probably have to get some of these high-tiered weapons.
I think, although I liked a lot of the improvements that they did with the last weapon rebalancing, I liked a lot of them, but there were several of them I didn't like. And I think the ones I didn't like, the main reason, ultimately now, in hindsight, that they were bad ones, was that more than it picking on any one specific weapon, is it killed the variety in Crucible. Not that there was a spectacular variety before, but it was huge compared to the variety of weapons we have in Crucible now.
Yeah, I will definitely agree with that.
You know how a lot of people are complaining about all the thorns that are running around, right? I think maybe what they should have done was kind of increase the difficulty of that specific bounty. Like, you got to go. Well, I mean, you got to go back into the pits,
I agree.
Right?
It should have maintained the highest level of difficulty, the same level of difficulty with each DLC level increase. I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, what's the level on that? The summoning pits for Thorn, I think, is still 26.
26. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you
That
probably solo that at this level. I remember. Oh man, am I going dark again?
No, I heard something.
Okay,
though.
good.
Continue.
Well, I was gonna say, I remember that first month, whenever I got the Thorn bounty, and me and SDF, we were trying to take that down. I think we were level 23s. We didn't know any better. We were all green. So we were just gonna try and take it on anyways. We couldn't do it, and I sat on that thing until like late October until I could finally get it. Now, since we're all like level 34s now, I mean, that difficulty hadn't changed, and I think maybe they should change up, heighten up the difficulty on some of these exotic bounties to kind of make them more rare in relation to the level cap that keeps on increasing.
Okay, so I would like to introduce an example that... So I haven't gotten my Thorn yet because I can't seem to kill more dudes with Void than being killed. Like, my numbers always get set back more than they get put up. So for me, for someone who plays a pretty decent amount and is not an idiot in Crucible, I feel like its difficulty is already pretty nuts enough. But you're not even talking about that, right? You're talking about the last part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even gotten there. Like I don't even know what that is. I've had the bounties since the very beginning, both on my
Mhm.
warlock characters because I figured that that's where I was going to do the most void. Like I can use any weapons I
Mhm.
want on any character, and then this is the void walker is going to be probably the best going forward, because the ward of dawn isn't killing anybody.
No, but you have grenades and you have a melee attack as well.
Right?
So
Absolutely.
you could hit the ward of dawn and stay within that ward and melee some folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like I'm just a sitting duck. Like when people see me throw up my Ward of Dawn, I feel like it's all the time like the other team I can almost hear through the wires going, "Yay, let's get them." And then
That's
and then
funny.
it's death for me. Like I've seen people use it in PvP very well, but I'm not playing against those guys. Maybe it's because I'm busy playing with you, Agrios, and Sharks and Strider.
Well, then
Uh,
what are you guys doing? Don't you have his back?
Well, I think
I'm
that
not
they
good.
have. Agrios is not good. You know what it is, though? I think it's you still have those numbers. I think that your numbers are better than my numbers. And so when we go in together, screwed. But
Well,
yeah,
for instance, I know Sharks is a significantly better player than myself. Like, just because of when we were going in with the harder core players, he is one of the higher ones on the list. When we go in together, he's almost always above me on the board. So I know when I travel into PvP with Sharks that I'm going to be going up against more skilled opponents because I'm adding his value to my team.
So I could see River. I could see you adjusting that last part. But at the same time, I mean, do you really feel like because everything scales to whatever level it is? So like that's level what? That's like level 27 activity that you're talking about?
No, it's a level 26.
Oh, it's a level
Or are you
26 activity.
Yeah, but it's still very hard. But I'm not really. I mean, I think all it has is the epic modifier, and that's it.
And you don't think that that's enough?
Oh no.
But not if it would scale to level. Like, you got to figure that most of us were all running level. If you had one of the best characters in the game, you were running a level 29. If you're fighting to get 30 from ball to glass, you were running a 29 or 28 at best. When you were attempting Thorn the first time, and many people did it earlier than that. I know when I did Thorn my first time, it was when I think I was on level 26 when I got my first Thorn.
Crazy.
I know I got that pretty early in the game when I only had a blue shotgun and blue rocket launcher to get it with.
That's way funny.
Do you have a void primary, Remy?
I have Atheon's epilogue, and I've tried to use it. I've tried to use it in PvP, but it's really probably the worst weapon I could bring in there. Like I feel like I really do diddly squat as far as damage is concerned. Okay, but my question is this: if I get an assist, say I put bullets into that dude, void bullets, does that still give me those points, or does it have to be a kill?
I think it has to be a kill, man.
Okay, so assists don't count.
I don't think they do. I can't verify that, but I just feel that as many times of Thorn that I've done, that I'm pretty sure kills have to be kills.
Yeah,
they do. Kills have to be kills. You can't get points with assists.
Right. So what I really need to do in order to get Thorn is to get the word of Crota, right? Like that's the only other.
And that's a good one too. I like that one. I like that hand cannon.
Yeah.
It's no Thorn, but I mean, it's still. I find a lot of success with it.
So I read something on the internet at some point. Someone was saying that there should be, instead of the Thorn, the burn hitting on, if just you hit this person, the burn would only activate if you hit them in the head. What do you think about that, River? As a user of Thorn, as someone who has used Thorn, do you think that would be a good nerf or a not good enough nerf?
I mean, if you get 2 headshots, you're just dead anyways. So I think it's really a moot point.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 body shot and then 1 headshot, and then he's still dead from the damage over time. So it's not even much of a difference.
Yeah, the overall impact is too high, in addition to having debuff that keeps them that low.
Hmm. I like where whoever put that out though. I really like where their head's at. I like it. I like the way they're thinking, trying to come up with something that's not too nerfy. But I think at this point, it's not really going to make much of a difference.
Like, the game needs more rewards based off of skill, not one-shot body shots from a shotgun.
But it takes skill to get Thorn.
Yeah, it takes more skill to get Thorn than it takes to get, like, Fellwinter's Lie, because you can basically fail your way into Fellwinter's Lie. But it also, you're still dealing with having this high-impact thing that you're just hoping to, like, you're just shooting, like, with Thorn, at least you're doing something that's takes a little bit of skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how things like Golden Gun, it just rewards you for hitting the thing in general, like supers, and with the supers for like Titans and Warlocks, you're more or less waiting till they group up.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit less skill for hunters with their supers because they don't need to wait for the perfect moment. They can seek out their targets. So the game needs to reward more of the skill-based things than pushing people towards this unskilled play. Well, it's still skilled to be the best bullshitter, but yeah. it's all about having the worst setup possible to counteract everyone else's bad setups right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you see everyone using Thorn.
Right, I can't wait to get Thorn and then use it in trials and be one of those dudes.
Yeah. You can
I'll tell you what, I was actually having a lot of fun with Vision of Confluence, surprisingly, in Iron Banner.
I don't want to have
actually
fun,
pretty cool.
Agrios. I want to win. I have a lot of fun with Suros. I have a ton of fun with
365
Suros.
365 Vision of Confluence is just ridiculous in Iron Banner. I don't know how many times I got two-shot from that thing. I was like, where's the sniper rifle?
Man, I
'Cause
was
holy
loving it.
cow.
Doing people up.
All right. What else we got?
That's everything. That's all I got. That brings me to the end of my news report for this evening.
Excellent, Agrios. Thank you very much, as always. I would like to bring up a video that I watched over the weekend. It was called 83 Reasons Not to Play Destiny. And it was done by this guy named Magnus Beasticus. And he's up on the screen right now. I chose this screen grab because this really kind of gives you an idea of what kind of dude this is. He's developed this thing called the Video Game Fitness Program or Fitness Academy, something like this. I don't remember what it was. But so he has this thing, and there's a video that you can watch that's like the legendary version of playing Destiny while doing this program. It's basically you do some kind of workout while you're playing Destiny. So like one example is if you are in you've been downed and you're waiting for someone to revive you, or you're waiting to revive, then you plank, like you lay down on you lay straight out and you get up on your elbows and you plank until somebody comes and revives you, or until you revive yourself. This was just an example. There's like running in step when you're running, and then crouching while you're crouched. Like this guy's really into this workout program, and I think it's really great. And what I think I loved most about this video is it gives you a sense of where Destiny has come from now. Like this, he posted this 8 months ago, and it has basically everything that I was always upset about, but he's articulated it in a way that's entertaining and informative. And some of these things still stand, like that there's no manual light. He said, way back in Halo 2 or Halo 1, you could just turn on and off this flashlight. Like it wasn't a big deal. He's like, what is this lost golden age, technology, being able to turn on and on off this flashlight, and that's something that's always bugged me. Like I want to be able to turn that on when I want to be able to turn that on. Having it be smart, that's cool, but it's, you know, I want that option. But you know, some of the things that he lists off, because it was posted in October, the month after Destiny was released, it includes things like not being able to talk to people in like team chat, you know, when you're in the Crucible and whatnot. But it's just so entertaining. It's just so funny and well made. And I wanted to just shed a little bit of light on this. If you just type in 83 and Destiny into a search browser, you will come up with this video. And it's, I don't know, his verdict is that you should not for any reason play Destiny because of these reasons. And I may not agree with his verdict, but what he's saying are legitimate gripes. Like, one of the things he says that's so funny is like, oh, there's no longer 4-player multiplayer, you know, goodbye, fourth friend that we've played hundreds of hours with over the past decades of gaming. You know, you didn't make the cut, you know? It's like, I don't know. It's really funny. This guy's really funny, and it's, I don't know. I'm going to play Destiny. I'm going to happily play Destiny. But he brings up some really great points, and is really entertaining. And also check out the video where he, you know, like, this is a workout program that he's designed, and he gives you 3 level settings for playing. You know, some people don't want to do all these crazy stand when you're standing and crouch when you're crouching, but some people out there might. And I don't know. I just thought it was funny and awesome. And I'm certain that everybody at Bungie has seen this, just because, you know, somebody makes a video called 83 Reasons Not to Play Destiny. You have to watch that. You have to know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah, there's no way you can't.
Right, there's no way you can't. But yeah, so funny. This guy's so funny. Like, look at the face he's making on this still.
Yeah.
It's a great example of the things he does. These imitation of what people are saying. I don't know, when they made these decisions, and I don't know. It's funny. But so that is what I want to bring up. But does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Agrios, what was that?
Does he come to the conclusion? Does he reason as to why these things are missing, or try to come to the conclusion? I mean, you know why I think they're all missing.
Oh yeah. You've done a really good job of blaming everything on last gen. You know, Destiny having
they made the game that we got so awesome that they just couldn't fit anymore into last gen. So, yeah. I mean, that's why we don't have a light switch for our flashlight. There's just no room in our computer systems for them. You know, our onboard HUDs in our helmets just can't handle that one extra switch. You know, we're overloaded with battle power. And speaking of last gen, then, do you think we'll hear about Destiny 2 at all at E3 this year?
I don't know. I mean, is Destiny 1 over? You know, I almost feel like Destiny 1 isn't over. Like, I mean, do you guys think that they should be trying to sell us a whole new video game at this point? Because
the reason I'm asking is that the next E3 then is going to be in very close proximity to when Destiny 2, a whole new game, you know, so to speak, or the next segment of the game, you know, the next version of the game is to be released. So I didn't know if you thought that they would hold off until next E3 or tease it at this E3.
You know, I guess that really depends on what their plan is. I was thinking, and I think that we've covered this before on the show, that it was going to be like 2 years per game or something like this. River, what do you think about this? Is this like, because they've said before in that email or whatever it is, that there's a content drop that's bigger than everything that's come so far, right? So I would say that they're still just trying to pack people into Destiny 1. Like, even as quick as the last, you know, however many months, 9 months that Destiny's been out, it still feels like I should be playing Destiny 1. What do you think, River?
This fall, it's going to be Destiny 2, The Taken King.
Yeah?
No. They're going to put all their focus on this next expansion that's coming up this fall, man. There's not even going to be a mention of Destiny 2 until probably E3 next year. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I would think too. Like this, it just feels like it's just too early. Like I mean,
it's like, look at all the flack they got for The Dark Below, and even a little bit for House of Wolves, you know. So I think they're really trying to get back on their feet as far as getting the trust back from a lot of the Destiny community. Not that we don't. I'm just saying, you know, they've been getting so much flack for it, and a lot of people left. So they're going to try and get these people back into playing Destiny first before they even talk about the next iteration.
Yeah, I agree. Crimson Warlock.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hear anything from it for at least 6 more months after the Taken King's out. I mean, Destiny 2, while it's being developed, there's no reason to talk about it yet because there's still so much more of Destiny 1 for us to really explore and feel.
I agree. Jez?
I think the leaked document from a while ago is more accurate than what we expected, and that we're just hitting the halfway point for Destiny 1.
Right, I think it's funny, like, they addressed that, and they said, don't believe everything you hear, and I think what they meant was don't believe everything. Like, that wasn't totally accurate, you guys. You know, like, we've changed some names around. Don't believe everything you hear.
Right. We just kind of used the Taken King instead of that other name that was on the list. And that's it.
Well, it was just called Comet on the list.
Well, no, didn't it have? It was called like. I thought in the image it was called something like Into Darkness or in the. I thought it had a subtitle. I thought it had a placeholder name on that picture.
Plague of Darkness?
Yeah, that's what it was. Right, Plague of Darkness is what the placeholder name was.
Okay, so Strider says, if we can carry our characters over but not our gear, then I'm not interested. And I've said this before on this show, our gear is our characters. Like if I deleted my Titan right now, moved all of the stuff off of him, and then deleted him and just made another Titan and got him to level 20, he would be almost identical to the Titan that I have right now, except for that I hadn't finished all of the bubbles on all of my subclasses. Like it would be the same exact character. So, I mean, as far as I can tell, Strider, our characters are our gear. Like, that's what really separates us. And Hedge brings up that the character creator sucks, and I agree. I had a really good time, and actually, I let my son make a character on the PlayStation. I keep my PlayStation upstairs because it's a real game machine. He can play on the 360. He can play on the Xbox One. You know, that's cool. But I'm saving the PlayStation is nice and in my room, away from the heavy traffic of babies throwing things and kids throwing things. Like, so yeah, I let him make one, and I got nostalgic as I watched the character creator come up. I thought, man, I remember when I did this, because I made all my characters months and months and months ago. And when I watched him make it, I thought, man, I really want to make a character. But then I watched him go through all of the options, and I'm like, this really hasn't changed. You know, like when I was making all of my additional characters, I almost wanted to make them different. But then when I realized that these combinations don't really appeal to me, I just made all of them the same. Because I didn't feel like looking through all these options I didn't like. So I would say you might even be able to redo your actual character, but I would say that your gear has to come over, because that's what really matters. You know, like, I mean, I hope my numbers carry over. You know, I've killed 17,000 dregs or something like this. Like, I hope that carries over, but. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you agree with that, River? Do you think that our characters are our gear, and that's what will cross over?
Yes.
Anything to add to that?
Not really. I mean, you said it all, man. I mean, you invested so much in getting all this freaking gear, not as much time as putting into your character, you know, making that freaking face or whatever the crap. So,
You know what I really wish there was in the game, and I hope that this is something that they add to Destiny 2, is to show the number of times that you've lapped a level. You know what I'm saying? Like a prestige rank. You know, like, how many times have I just randomly received a mode of light because I killed some dreg, and that's instead of it saying level up, you're now level 77 on this character. Instead of it saying something like this and the screen flashing, that was another thing. When he hit level 2, it was like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, and I would keep playing forever if I could see this screen. But I mean, even Mass Effect 3 had something like that. Like every time that you would rank up and send your character out into the world, like you added that to your total score. Like I think that, or you know what? Maybe they don't add that because it would be too daunting. Like when you see that guy holding the thorn in the corner, and his level is like 3,720.
Yeah, screw that.
But I mean, I think that information should be somewhere. Like how many times have I lapped? And I know that Destiny Tracker actually has that, right, Agrios?
Has what exactly? They have a lot of information there.
Every time you go past the number of a level and you get a mode of light for it, like it tells you how many times you've gone.
I believe that's there. I'm not 100%. I've never checked that myself, but I believe I've heard someone else mention that. I'll go look right now.
All right, so Shark says that it does tell you how many times you've lapped a level. So, awesome. Where were we?
I think I was going to give my thoughts on carrying characters over.
Do it.
It's like I'm kind of conflicted, and the reason why I'm conflicted is while I really would love to carry my guns over, like Destiny 2 is going to have a start over point, and to go from whatever the max level is when Destiny 1 ends to back to like low level enemies and everything to kind of go back to a starting position, either it almost has to be like a Metroid intro where in the Metroid game, Samus has all of her gear and then something happens and she loses it all. Like that's kind of the way I'd feel it'd have to be, or else you'd be like, well, why am I doing such low level stuff if I'm already level 50 light or whatever it's going to be when it ends? It's to me it's almost like I would want to start a new adventure as a warlock maybe 30 years from when Destiny 1 takes place, for it to make more sense of why I'm doing these, fighting these low level monsters, creatures, enemies, whatever they are, new aliens that we haven't met, if that's the case, or why am I this far in the galaxy fighting level 1 hive again? That's what I found on Earth.
Do you think we'll actually fight level 1 hive again? Or do you think that when the new Destiny comes out, like if you didn't own Destiny 1 and you go to start a character in Destiny 2, you would actually roll a level 45 character or whatever it happens to be at that point in time?
Man, this is really good. This is a really interesting question.
Hitting like a level 45 character all at once, I think, would be too overwhelming. Like if you started as a level 1 character, then you could do it. But as like, you start at level 5, does that mean all 3 of your subclasses are going to be unlocked and maxed?
Well, no, you have to level up your subclasses. I'm just talking about relative weapon power, armor, and light level.
Again, like that to start as a brand new person, that would make you feel super super powerful, I think. But at the same time, you're like, well, what did this Guardian do before though? What did this Guardian do to get me to that point?
That's a good point, but I think then that's when they're going to want people to go back and play Destiny 1. To like go back and get these weapons, because we talked about this before too. Because what if you get Destiny 2 and you just start off with whatever weapons the Vanguard gives you, or you could like at that point after you start playing Destiny 2 be like, oh, I want these exotics from Destiny 1, and go back in with your character now that you've created from Destiny 2 into Destiny 1 and get the weapons that you're missing. But as far as the on level thing, I think, if you're a level 45 character and you're fighting level 45 enemies, it's going to be like a level 1 character fighting level 1 enemies. You're going to have the same amount of difficulty fighting them. I mean, especially
You
if
know-
your subclasses and your special abilities aren't leveled yet, that's what makes the difference in those departments. And to give another example, Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, this is how they did it. The Dead Island, you played up to whatever the max level cap was on the first Dead Island. Then Dead Island Riptide came out, and if you didn't own the first Dead Island, you just rolled up a character that was already at level 15 or whatever the level cap was.
Okay, so this is a really great conversation. I want to get to what River wants to say, and then I just want to add real quick that I think that if you are buying Destiny 2, what's going to happen is you're going to roll a level 1 Guardian, and you're going to go through all of Destiny 1's content, because that's going to be included as a base part of the game. Like, I think that, because what if you are our level 45 Guardian and then you want to start all over? I think that you still have to have those beginning areas. But River, what is it you wanted to say?
I was going to say that is one possibility, especially since we got another studio coming in to help out Bungie, as well as, if Destiny 2 is on next gen, then maybe a possibility would be that everything just what is it called? It's relative to the level that you have.
Yeah.
So if you'd have a level 35 Guardian and you play that first mission in Destiny 2, it's going to scale up to whatever level you have. But if you start off as level 1, then it's going to be like level 1 stuff for that same mission.
Yeah.
Just as a possibility for next gen.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's too. I could see that.
All right. Show's over. Everyone go home.
Yep.
Sadly, we lost the old man, and he probably sleeping now. So no shout out for you, old man. Agrios.
Shout out to N7 Strider for obtaining the lost Gorgon Exotic checkpoint for us all this week. We didn't make it at changeover for a variety of reasons amongst us, and Strider actually went through with a group and saved the checkpoint and passed it on for us, so we had it. So shout out to him.
You kick ass, Strider. Jez.
Shout out to Data, who is going into a very stressful week. I can guarantee it.
Awesome. You kick ass, Dado. Crimson Warlock.
I want to shout out, I shouldn't do this, but to my fellow co-hosts, because I look forward to Thursdays. It's a great time of my week, and you guys make a fun night to talk about something that I love.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that, but I agree with you. We kick ass. River.
Shout out to Jez, because he's on Dado's team, and they took on freaking all those raid bosses with Vestian Dynasty.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah, props on that too.
I wish we had
That's
time
crazy.
to discuss that next week. Next week we'll talk about that.
You get to hear me say, I have no power, or I have no damage. And then Leopard's like, all the damage. It's like,
That
no.
Crota one was epic, by the way, but moving on.
Yes, that was.
Alrighty. So my shout out is to all those who did at some point have Guardian 1 set as their clan. The most basic goal of Guardian 1 is for people to find where they need to be or belong. Thank you for sailing with the good ship G1. I hope our paths cross again soon. That wraps up episode 43. I would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or suggestions for topics to be discussed on the show, please leave them in the comments below or send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week.